Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. I, of course, am your host, and I'm joined once again by the debonair, dashing-looking Zealeus, the prolific commenter himself.
Well, thank you for these superlative adjectives describing my everyday well-being.
You're welcome.
How goes it on this beautiful Thursday? This thunderous Thursday.
It's not really thunderous. It's more like,
It's thunderous to my brain, which is always perpetuating more craziness.
Yes.
So,
yeah, in that case, I'm doing all right.
There you go. That's the spirit.
All right, so let me actually put this up. There we
go.
Hey!
And you continue to get it on the correct side. I'm so proud of you.
It's because we're on the same side every single time.
But you've had it reversed like the first time.
Right, the first time.
I almost walked out.
I actually corrected it during the broadcast.
I may have X'd that out from my mind. I don't remember. I think you're lying again. Or I may have given you so much shit that you actually did do it mid-podcast because I wouldn't stop annoying you about it.
Yay!
It's very much a possibility.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right into the news, shall we?
There's news?
Of course there's news. Why would there not be news?
A week has passed. How much news could have really passed?
Yes.
Indeed.
Enough news has started. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start.
Is this really new news?
No, it's not. But we are going to continue this because this is a worthy cause. Extra Life is a charity organization that has multiple events throughout the year that they raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. Ultra Confusion has an Extra Life team. We will be gaming November 7th for 24 hours. Well, I'll be gaming for 24 hours. I don't know. What are you doing?
It's going to drive me insane if I see both.
Oh my God, stop. You were going to freak me out.
Okay.
Anyways, no, I can't see that. You're just going to have to suck it up. Anyways, so Extra Life, we will be, is that Star Wars? Is that really Star Wars?
What?
No, it's not. November 7th.
November 7th?
No, it's not.
I don't know.
No, I think it's December, isn't it? Whatever. Anyways, we will be gaming for 24.
That's about it.
24 hours straight. Well, I'll be gaming 24 hours straight. Zealeus will be jumping on at some point. And what we're looking for is if you, the audience, friends, family, awesome people out there, have the ability to donate anything. $1.
$1. $1.
$1.
$1.
$5, 10, 15, 20, whatever.
1,000.
Whatever you feel comfortable about donating, please donate it to Extra Life. We would love it if you were to donate it to the Ultra Confusion team. All you got to do is go to extra-life.org and search Ultra Confusion. You'll pull up me because I am the one and only Ultra Confusion.
Search Ultra Confusion just like everything else.
So anyways, Extra Life.
So let me ask you a question, because
Yes,
we're getting pretty close. Do you have any idea of what you're going to be actually playing for Extra Life yet?
Oh, man.
Has the thought crossed thy mind?
It has, and there are a couple of games that I would love to tell you about, but I'm not going to tell you about it right now.
What?
Yeah.
Is it going to make a secret until, like, November 7th?
No, it's going to be I will reveal the games week of. Okay. I will reveal the games week of.
So you're going to have a plan of what games you're going to actually play?
Yes. I will. I'm starting to formulate, strategize, and then of course when the week, basically the Monday before, because the 7th is a Saturday.
Okay.
The Monday before, you will start seeing my reveal. I might post it, or I might actually just do something slightly different to reveal it that way. Whacked Kid 47. The baby's doing awesome. Healthy. Very good set of lungs, but I think that runs in my family when it comes to kids, because my other son, has finally quieted down.
A good set of lungs is code for screamer.
Yeah. Anyways, so
but that's a baby's job. It means they're alive.
Exactly. All right. So, anyways, please, if you can, donate. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Like I said.
And what is the money going toward for Extra Life?
So for Ultra Confusion specifically, the money is going to Atlanta. Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, which, as Zealeus knows, I've spent quite a lot of time there.
I was a perfect child, so I don't think I ever actually went.
Our mutual friend, we'll just call him a Magnus on the show, he got impaled.
With a stick?
And went there.
It was pretty awesome.
Yes.
Lots of blood.
Yes, there's a story behind that. If you want to know the story, You'll have to ask us off air. Anyways, and then of course my sister has been there a ton.
Oh, it's LARPing. I think that's a totally legitimate Ultra Confusion topic.
Right, but we're not going to talk about it now. That's a bonus topic, okay? Bonus.
Fair enough.
Bonus, okay? All right, anyways, let us get into the real first news story of the night. And this one comes courtesy of the one, the only Zealeus. And this, of course, is...
Yet on some MMOs, the name Zealeus is already taken, and I don't know why.
I don't understand. I don't understand how...
Who would really pick my name?
But anyways, Zealeus, if you
You
please.
stole it!
No, I didn't.
Okay, so we've talked a number of times about the burgeoning of eSports, and now it's becoming a bigger thing. And they kind of reinforce that BBC Sports has recently picked up that they're going to basically broadcast the League of Legends World Championship starting with the quarterfinals.
Which I think is what I believe ESPN2 is doing that as well.
They said last year, supposedly 70 million people actually watched the League of Legends World Championships last year in some form or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So BBC is like, heck yeah, let's pick up on this. And it's the first time that BBC has ever done any kind of actual live esports.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it also works into their system too because it's actually being broadcasted. The League of Legends World Championships is taking place from Wembley Stadium.
Oh.
So it's not totally just on a web. Like, this is cool. So obviously there's a time with it being in Wembley, freaking Wembley Stadium where Queen played.
Yep.
Very historical, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to imagine watching a League of Legends tournament at Wembley Stadium. Because, think about it. Okay, when we were at the Smart World Championships,
mm-hmm.
you can actually see what was going on.
Right.
And they had, 2 pretty good sized projection screens,
mm-hmm.
and you can see it. But here's Wembley Stadium holds 70,000 people.
Right.
Are you going to be able to actually see what the hell's going on?
Yeah. Have you not seen the Foo Fighters at Wembley? Have you seen the how
I've never been to Wembley. No.
No. They broadcast. I think it was on HBO. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was HBO. They did Foo Fighters at Wembley, and the screens were just ginormous. You can see everything from anywhere in the stadium.
Okay, cool.
But once again, when it comes to Wembley, it's not going to be a complete round.
Correct. Yes,
right. You're going to cut off a piece of it. And Wax Kid 47. Yes, ESPN is the rumor was that after a successful, I know a lot of people who are not esports fans did not think it was.
I don't understand, man.
But,
what is this?
Was it Heroes of the Storm?
Yes.
Heroes of the Storm was on ESPN2. I think it was a Saturday or Sunday. I think it was maybe Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, it was
and a lot of people were like, "What the hell is this? What's going on?" And then ESPN looked at the demographics and the rating, the ratings and whatnot, and it was really, really high for a beta game. And then they're like, there's this bigger game called League of Legends. And so the rumor was, as soon as that happened, they were in talks with broadcasting the World Championship for LoL, League of Legends.
And it makes sense. I mean, if they're going to broadcast something, if you're going to do it, it might as well be the world's freaking championships.
Right.
League of Legends.
And of course, ESPN is the world leader in sports. And so now they're expanding into esports. Now, I do want to point out one thing. From my understanding, it will not be on the ESPN. It's going to be on ESPN2.
Which makes
with I think it's the second half is going to be on ESPN2. The first half potentially on ESPN3. It's basically for those of you who watch March Madness.
We're ESPN the Ocho!
There's no such thing yet. It's coming.
No, I am kind of curious, and I know we talked about in the past, of how well are the commentators and analysts going to pull in audience members who've never watched it. I think there's some crazy BBC or watcher who normally just wants to sit down, watch Doctor Who with his new Sonic sunglasses, and do his thing. Instead, you see esports. They'd be like, mate, what am I watching? I wish I could do a British accent, but I can't.
So
that's what I'm interested in, is how well can they pull in people to actually not just turn off the station, because that's those doggone thing kids play. So
I think, to be honest with you, I think that League of Legends is probably the best one to televise, because I think that those commentators are the most skilled and educated.
But don't you think, though, most of the time, I would presume that your current pool of commentators they're used to actually commentating, or what's the actual? They don't use commentate. There's like that word that they used when they're talking about games. They have like their actual term for eSport, whatever that term is. They're used to talking about to people who already know the sport.
Right, but
it's like, can they make that transition from being able to talk to a regularly informed audience to an audience who has no idea what the hell you're doing, and not only that, but you're trying to keep them engaged and not flipping the channel. Can they make that transition?
I believe so. I mean, the League of Legends has continued to grow its fan base, so they must be doing something right. And I think that, yes, the vast majority of the individuals who understand League of Legends or Smite or Dota 2 or Heroes of the Storm or
TOTS,
whatever, they at some point might actually dabble in it. For those individuals out there who have not played the game, yes, it is going to be more difficult. But I think that Riot is probably going to be your strongest company to actually have maybe like a I don't know, like I don't want to say a tutorial, but a way of kind of setting it up so that more individuals would be able to process it. Yeah.
Now I think I'll be interested to see, because you've had other professional sports, like take the NCAA championships, March Madness. They've done a pretty bang-up job of utilizing online access to these sports.
Right.
So what they're doing, for instance, so you're watching March Madness on CBS, what you can do is you can pull up your iPad and you can get like crazy real-time stats going on at the same time. And I think NFL's doing the same thing too in some regard.
Well, actually, if you have an Xbox One, you can do that right now. They have an NFL app where you can watch NFL games. It's like Red Zone, where it'll pop through different things. And if you were to have and unfortunately at this point, I think, if you run your fantasy football league through NFL.com, you can actually have your fantasy information update in real time as you're watching all the different stuff.
But at the same, so going back to that is something like any of the MOBAs. It seems like that's the perfect platform to promote. Okay, I'm watching ESPN2 or BBC, but now I can pull up my iPad and see all those crazy, interesting, interactive stats.
Yes.
And it seems like that's the perfect platform to really promote your game.
Right.
Is, by being able to utilize your other mobile platforms.
Well, I think we're at this point where individuals are now not only watching TV, but they also have some sort of device in their hands. So if you were to watch, say, like
I'm watching League of football, Legends, I always have my damn phone in my hand.
So if you're watching like League of Legends on ESPN2 and they have a little indicator saying, hey, if you want more information, download this app and you'll get, maybe there's a tutorial or some kind of like quick cliff notes that allows you to delve deeper into the game.
And I hope that it makes sense for them to take advantage of, because it's also a captive audience.
Right, absolutely.
Because most likely anybody who's watching an esport, they're going to have an iPhone or Android.
Right, absolutely.
That's just that audience who's watching MOBAs, is they're already going to have some kind of smartphone. And guess what? They're not going to need a walkthrough tutorial on how to download the latest FAQ.
Hey, how about this?
Oh.
Okay, so I know that for those out there who may not know this, during March Madness, they actually, because they have so many networks, because it's basically Turner, it's TBS, it's True TV, it's whatever.
I didn't even know True TV exists outside of March Madness.
So what they do for these like off channels is that they have like the Duke broadcast and on one channel, and then you have like UNC broadcast. So what if you had like a team broadcast? Yes, of course, it's going to be delayed. You have to delay it because you don't want people to be cheating and like feeding the other team information. But how cool would it be if there's like some kind of like way through your app on your tablet or your phone where you could just tune in to listen to the way that they're strategizing for the Coup Tigers, or I've been playing a lot.
They already have that with SAP.
Right.
The Spanish thing that you can do, which I accidentally turned on my TV and I didn't know how to get it off because I know I turned it on. Apparently my TV has it. Sweet. But yeah, I mean, they already have that technology, but you're right. Or even like almost like having the noob commentators, probably is the default, admittingly. and then maybe have like the more advanced commentators who assume you already know what's going on.
That's true.
Who then kind of, they bring that vocabulary and vernacular up a level, and they talk about it as if you already know what's going on.
Right.
But I think that'd be a great way to utilize, multiple types of broadcasters. Or like you said, even having Homer broadcasters.
Yeah.
I would see no problem with. In that case, because you have multiple options. So I definitely think there's options, yes. And hopefully like a Riot or, Blizzard, because they did Warriors of the Storm Ridge and ESPN,
I
that
heard
they'll be
that
able to take advantage of.
Right. I heard that Blizzard's actually making a huge change up to the early game for Heroes of the Storm.
Yes, I did see that. I did see that Blizzard is really overhauling Heroes of the Storm. And I'll be interested to see how. One of the things I really liked about Heroes of the Storm is it kind of does differentiate itself between other. One of the problems with most MOBAs, especially Smite, League of Legends, and Dota 2 are probably the three biggest, is if you're not like a meta player, meaning you actually know what the hell is going on, and you're reading strategies, it's kind of hard to know what to do in the game besides basically go attack a lane. But if you watch the pro players, they're never really just standing in a lane.
Right.
So if you're just a lane player and you go watch a pro league, it's like, what the hell am I supposed to be doing in this game? I don't understand. And that's one thing that I really like that Heroes of the Storm does, is it makes those secondary, they're still lanes,
right?
But it makes those secondary objectives of what to do outside of just lane grinding incredibly obvious to everybody. So even noob-tastic players like myself are going to Heroes of the Storm. I'm like, oh, I should probably go attack this attack column because I need to get 15 cores so I can spawn him. So it's much more intuitive on those secondary objectives in Heroes of the Storm, which to me makes it more noob-friendly in that regard because you don't necessarily have to understand all the meta aspects to actually not get called out as a total, well, I'm not going to say any word that people say in Dota's because it's not PG-13 friendly.
We'll say noob.
Yes, noob is the nice way of putting it.
What's up? Don't drop the cheese.
Don't drop the mic. That's what I think. Or the soap.
I'll be very interested to see. I don't know. I know that this has been out there for a while, but I know that Turner is trying to find a way to broadcast some of the Counter-Strike. I think some of the Counter-Strike play. I'm not exactly sure how. I don't know in what capacity, but I've heard that Turner has basically been poking that because pro level competitive Counter-Strike is humongous as well. It is different than a MOBA, but it's still it definitely has a huge following, which is obvious because it's one of the bigger games
that's all
that's supported on like an alpha draft.
Talk about is, dude, did you go play COD last night? I'm like, COD? Did I play with my fish? And I'm like, The other thing I think that's important though is consistency in the broadcasting. Because if you're broadcasting your esports on nationally televised every 6 months to a year apart, it's hard to get any real baseline if you're doing it well. It's just not enough data points. Or if say you're actually broadcasting, let's just say every Saturday night at 10 p.m.
Right.
Then you can actually have real data of like, okay, this is or isn't working. But it's just for only like the World Championships for a MOBA. Yeah. How do you know if you're actually doing a good job reaching your audience? That's my only hang up right now with, yes, esports are coming to TV. And they are coming to TV. But right now, the data points are so few and far between that they're statistically unreliable as far as what is actually working. We just don't know because there hasn't been enough.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest issue with League of Legends and others is that you have these qualifier cups that you have to go through, and they are kind of like sporadically through different places, different times, and all that stuff. I don't know. I don't mean to be mean, but anything outside of the U.S. people usually don't watch it. If it's a sport outside the U.S., unless it's the World Cup, which of course the U.S. competes in, or if it's the Olympics and a U.S. team is competing, chances are they're going to be like, it's not from the U.S. Who cares?
Yeah, this is absolutely true. There's definitely that homerism.
But you're right.
Yeah.
The biggest issue with MOBAs or any esports games in general is the fact that there is no set season. Yes, I understand. Yes, there's a time period where the season happens, where you gain enough points of winning enough tournaments, and you get into the World Championship. But it's not like NBA plays on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And football games are on Mondays, Thursdays, NFL is on Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays. You don't have that
like a set day. I mean, even wrestling, which is the fakest of them all, has a set schedule. WWE is every single Monday and Thursday night.
Yeah.
Or it's a Friday night now. I forget which night it is now. But it's a set exact time. And I think until MOBA actually gets something, the time will come eventually. I don't think it's here. It's not here yet.
Mm-hmm.
To have, the Friday 10 p.m. slot that you're going to be seeing in your live stream. But it's slowly getting to that point.
Right.
And it might even take a secondary network to get that going. But at some point, I think, poker has it.
Yeah.
I don't see poker on ESPN as much as I used to, but there was a time when when I used to actually follow the World Series of Poker, when I knew that my new tournaments were on. And I looked forward to it.
Right. Okay, so let's go on to the next topic. If y'all want to talk more esports, please.
I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean by promote kids gaming, like promoting MOBAs to kids because kids watch TV.
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure.
Let's jump into the next topic.
Of course, to move on.
At any point we could definitely jump back, or we could talk about whatever you, the audience, wants to talk about. But let's move on to the next one, and that, of course, is Zynga ads that are games, which.
Woo!
Oh, dear God.
Everybody loves Zynga games to start with, right? You want to go play FarmVille tonight after work? What do you think?
No.
Yeah? Okay.
No, I don't touch Zynga games.
So basically the premise of this whole Zynga ads games that are ads is basically, most iOS games on your phone or Android for that matter, they every once in a while they can have that ad or you can, get more gems or gold by playing ads. They've been doing some trial basis of like, hey, what if our 30-second ads are games? And so they've been trialing this out. And so far, it seems like it's actually working out as far as reaching eyeballs, as far as turning your ads into games. Sometimes I feel like your mobile game is a giant ad anyways for the sake of just buying, in-app purchases of more crystals and gems. But it's just kind of like, okay. In a way, it almost goes like blurs the line of what's the difference between a game and just trying to get me to buy more shit.
Now, okay, so first of all, I hate the Zynga type of microtransactions drive me up to the effing wall simply because it's pay to win. But I would hope that through this ain't going to happen, but in a perfect world, what I'd love to see is that these apps actually allow you to gain some kind of something. For the game. What it really is it's a funny little way to educate you about a product during the 30-second span where you're going to get spammed by an ad anyway, so let's do it. It's like Hulu.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Certain times in Hulu, you can actually do you can watch a long ad, and then you get commercial free, unless of course you pay for the commercial free anyways.
And then actually CBS still shows commercials.
Right. Or you can. There's also, depending on the show, there's also sometimes an option to do a trivia thing. And if you get you could fail the whole damn trivia thing and then just be on it. I've gotten really good at the trivia.
Well, here's the thing.
I'll get questions every single time.
So here's my system administrator rant for a second here.
Yep.
Is one of the things I see as a potential issue is a system admin who sees all kinds of weird, crazy shit that end users do. Mm-hmm. It happens to end users. Mm-hmm. Is one of the things that Zynga is trying to do is you're trying to make the sprites, the graphics, basically blend in with the game. So it's a seamless process. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like you're not really even leaving the game. It's immersive advertisement, which is all fine and great.
Well, that's where we're going.
But here's the problem that creates is that type of atmosphere. Mm-hmm. Is I had a user come to me today with their Mac. And they're like, Mr. Duvall, Mr. Zealeus, I have this thing that's saying that there is a new Mac update for my computer. Should I install this?
No.
Yes, Charlie's correct. Now, looking at it from an end-user perspective, it looks totally freaking legitimate. I mean, the font, the picture, everything looked exactly like it's something that Apple would distribute to end users. Looking at it, I knew maybe it was fake. I mean, that's my job, is to know it's fake, so I hope I would. But it's kind of the idea where things like this, like advertisements that look just like the real game, it's further kind of creating that environment that promotes the idea of creating basically almost like scams. We're like so similar to the real product that your typical, or even intelligent for that matter, end users nowadays, it's become very hard to differentiate between what is legitimate from your product and fake.
Right.
And that was the first thing that came to, because this just happened today to a user. And so that's the first thing that came to mind when I saw these advertisements that look just like you're playing the game you're actually playing in the form of advertisement. I'm like, well, no wonder my end users get confused on what's a real update versus not. Like, this is exactly
that's what they're trying to do.
Oh, absolutely. They're trying to trick the users into, downloading basically a glorified search engine so they can monetize their searches is what they're trying to do. And but that's basically what the Zynga's trying to do. Is they're trying to monetize the same thing.
They're trying. Well, it's product clicks. I'll bet you anything that Zynga's making a shit ton of money off of this simply because people are like, oh, it's a game, so I click on this, and then they're like, I don't know, like maybe the game over button. You click on that, and it gives you a product page for Tide bubbles or something.
Well, they also look at Google, and you look at Google, and Google makes their money off of AdWords.
Right.
That's where the income is from, is freaking AdWords.
Right.
And look at how successful and powerful the company become just off their advertising platform. So now other companies are like, well, holy shit, how do we get on this game of advertisements just like Google? So from Zynga's board of executives perspective, I can totally see why they want to do this.
Well, of course. I mean,
if they can create a new advertising platform for other games to utilize that's going to increase eyeball searches by 10, then you just found a new bucket of gold.
Speaking about platforms, we talked about this last week, and I want to bring, and for better or for worse, we're gonna talk about this again. Star Citizen.
Everybody's favorite game.
One of the biggest complaints, or I guess accusations, is that a lot of the money that people have pledged was actually put into a third-party company to really define and create a crowdfunding system, which has nothing to do with Star Citizen, but they can then sell it to other companies to allow for donations and crowdfunding and all that stuff.
Well, it's kind of the same issue. Okay, this kind of came across. Okay, maybe this is totally getting way off topic, I know, but I'm going to do it anyways.
Go for it.
Okay, so one of the most popular wrestlers that has been around the last decade is CM Punk, who is left.
Didn't he quit?
Yes, he's left wrestling. He's now in MMA. But he recently came out on Twitter basically bashing the WWE for supporting the Susan Komen Foundation. Basically because kind of the same thing, where a lot of people, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, but a lot of people bash the Susan Komen Foundation because so much of the money actually goes not towards actual cancer research, but basically advertisements and litigation and paying their CEOs. So it's almost like at some point for a thing such as, in this case, the Susan Foundation for Cancer, or you got Star Citizen for crowdfunding.
Or Tom's.
Tom's?
The shoes.
Sure.
Well, you buy a pair of Tom's and they send a pair of shoes to a third world country.
I feel like I've heard that before. But it's almost at some point...
It's a racket. Don't buy Tom's.
Like, almost at some point it becomes so large that keeping that original mission of whatever you're trying to do, it almost becomes so top-heavy of trying to keep it all afloat.
Well, the other thing,
they almost like lose the original mission.
Right. Well, the other thing, and I know this is totally off topic, but the Tom's thing is, it's a beautiful con. Yes, indeed. When you buy a pair of shoes, they send a pair to the third world country, which is actually really, really bad. But they basically make $60 off of every single pair of shoes.
Yeah.
So they're actually rolling in the dough.
Shoes are not expensive to produce.
No, they're not. But so, anyways, don't support Tom's. Okay. Let us go into another topic here real quick.
I don't know about you though. I'm excited to be able to play my advertisements. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, let's talk about something that I think has been brewing, and a lot of people have been wondering if this was actually going to come to a head, and that is voice actors are threatening to strike. They haven't done it yet, but I'm not surprised that voice actors are starting to band together and say, you know what, F this. We need better wages. We need, a little bit more love and support, TLC, whatever. Because a lot of it is, most voice work is contract work. And so you don't have all those benefits. You don't have all that support.
When you say contract, does that include union workers? Because remember, this is just the union who's going on strike.
Right.
So does contract work include union workers inside that contract work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have no idea how that
with union,
works.
there's a little bit of extra backing, but still, there's
so contract workers can still be union workers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It would be like, I don't want to really go into it, but yes. I'm not surprised. I personally think that certain games, voice acting can make or break a game.
Well, it's really from reading I'm not going to say the acronym because I can't remember it. But basically what they're really going for is it's really getting more money out of basically mega hits.
Well, yeah.
It's really basically like what they're looking at is games that basically sell more than 2 million copies. And whether it be sell or monthly subscriptions, depending on what type of game it is. It's basically that 2 million mark is where they're looking for basically more royalties. Is what it comes down to.
Well, because I'm going to be honest, what a lot of being from a developer's background, a lot of the contracts you get straight up pay for what you do, and it could be art, could be sound design, could be programming, it could be just regular game design, could be voice acting, whatever. The vast majority of the contracts you get a flat fee.
Okay.
Unless you've got someone who's really swanky. The problem is a lot of AAA titles can basically force you into a position where it's either you accept their deal or you don't get their backing. Especially if you're like an independent developer, that's the tough spot you get into. Yeah. But if you are an established person, then you could try to work in a royalty thing. That's where the certain companies, when you do the money breakdown, if you're a startup indie developer, chances are if you go after a big developer, they're going to do an 80-20 split of the profits, okay? So they're going to get 80%, you're going to get 20%. And then if you get the royalties, sometimes they'll just buy the game outright and say, hey, here's a flat fee. It's going to cover all your costs plus a little bit. And then if it takes off, they get to pocket all the money. Mm-hmm. Same deal with the voice actors. I'm sure there's probably like a small percentage. And at some point, there's a break-even number of products sold, and then it's all profits. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that's what the voice actors. Craig says, Billy West, Fry, and others on Futurama has long been a proponent of professional voice actors getting recognition and employment. He's not a fan of stars doing voice acting work in movies and games. He feels voice acting needs to be recognized as a legitimate art form that is independent from stardom. I agree. To some extent.
The thing that comes to mind, when you think of stars, my single favorite voice acting moment in any game is still a star. Mm-hmm. And that's the elusive man from the Mass Effect series.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a star. I'm having a total mind blank on his name now.
Martin Sheen.
Thank you, Martin Sheen. Mm-hmm. But he's one of those voice actors that in game, he basically made Mass Effect 2 through his voice acting.
Right.
Of being the elusive man. So there's definitely circumstances where I think for that star presence, because he has that ability to play that role.
But I'm going to be honest with you. He wasn't... Mass Effect 2, it was it was definitely something that pushed it, but it wasn't the main focus. The issue, I think, personally, is that there's a lot of games out there that, no offense, like a lot of AAA titles, they're like, oh my god, this game is going to be shit. Yep. So we're going to say, voiced by Ellen Page, it's going to be awesome. And so everyone goes, oh yeah, Ellen Page, yeah, okay, I got to get this because I love Ellen Page. Instead of you have a game that has amazing voice acting in it, and then you're like, oh shit, this person did this voice acting. Holy crap! It's like oh my god, Steve Bloom, the guy who does the Cowboy Bebop and a bunch of other stuff. His voice, phenomenal.
Can we see a couple of voice actor? Oh, you weren't. Never mind. You were not me.
There was quite a few voice actors at Dragon Con.
Yeah, I know there's some at Dragon. I didn't recognize them, but the people are with like I know them.
And there's going to be some big voice actors at MomoCon.
Nice
as well. But yeah,
I think part of the hard part for voice actors though is people, as far as getting that recognition, like Billy West says, is by nature humans are very visual.
Yeah.
And without being able to put those eyeballs to the person who they are, that's one of the issues, like, for instance, with hockey. And why NHL hockey has had a very hard time monetizing.
Because they're all wearing fucking masks.
Hey, that's really what it is. They have big fucking masks. If you ask NBC, it's because during playoffs they wear beards. I'm not exaggerating. NBC's CEO actually wrote a letter to Gary Bettman being like, we think the NHL players should shave during the playoffs so they're recognizable. No. But if you think about it, the most popular NFL players, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, their faces.
Right,
Peyton Manning's looked the same for the last freaking 30 years. And you look at it, I saw Wheaties box from Tennessee. I'm like, holy crap, it's the same man.
Yep.
But it's kind of like, and I think it's one of the hard parts for, the voice actors getting recognition is we are visual people by nature. And that's one of the reasons Marty Sheen was so successful. We can put a face to who he is. And a lot of voice actors, it's like, how do I put a face? Like, I've heard that voice before, but I have no idea who it actually is.
And that's a valid point. But at the same time, I agree. I think that they need to have a little bit more recognition. I don't know how you would do that, but I do agree that they need some more recognition. But the thing is, yes, when you're able to put a name with a face, that allows an automatic, 2 and 2 together type of moment where people are like, oh, okay, I know that this guy knows his stuff, hopefully. Then again, there are those actors out there that when they do take voice work, they mail it in.
Now, here's a question.
Yeah.
Okay. So, according to, obviously, what?
That is a very good question. Craig asked, the question is, does the face make it worth it? I feel a great voice is a great voice. I don't care what the voice actor's face looks like.
I don't think the face makes it worth it, no. But I think the counterpoint, though, is from the publisher's standpoint, is that without having a face to put to that voice, they can just fill in any voice. If I'm looking from the publisher's perspective, I'm looking at this like, voice actors don't have recognizable names. I'm sure there's I don't follow voice actors, but I'm sure if you follow them, there's probably some there's recognizable. But I think for the most part, if I'm at EI, I'm like, fuck voice actors.
Right, absolutely, and Craig's right.
I'm not sure
it is marketing. When you put a big name on there, it automatically gives you a boost because it's a recognizable name. There are Nolan North, who has done a shit ton of voice acting, a phenomenal voice actor. But unless you know Nolan North, you would not be able to pick him out in a crowd. Same with the voice of, Spike Spiegel, Steve Bloom. It gives. I don't want to say it gives this like instant credibility, but it definitely gives it a boost in the marketing department where people. When it's a recognizable name, it's just like if it's a recognizable brand, because names are brands. People are brands. You are your own brand, which a lot of independent developers don't understand, but that's another topic. And when you have a recognizable brand, let's say that there's, Gaga Goo Goo shoes, which are phenomenal, amazing. They surpass Nike in every single regard.
Wherever Michael Jordan.
But there's Nikes. So you have the Gaga Goo Goo shoes and Nikes sitting right next to each other. Which one are the vast majority of people going to buy? The Nikes, because it's a recognizable brand. They've been around forever. So the same thing with voice actors. That's a recognizable name. That automatically gives it a boost.
But here's what I think, though, the problem with voice acting stars, I think being a star in terms of voice acting is such a minority of gamers who actually recognize voice actor names. I'm going to venture to say that it's probably like 2% of gamers who actually recognize.
I would say it's a little bit higher, but
it's going to be an extreme minority of people who actually who actually care about the name behind the voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
They might care if the voice acting is quality. Yes, I'll give that credence. But I just, whatever, looking at, forums and going to various websites, if there's one thing that rarely comes up, if ever, it's voice actors. They might talk about the actual voice acting in the game, and well, it's the quality, but the actual person behind the voice,
they won't go.
It's such a rare point of discussion, where I just don't see that being relevant. That's just my perspective.
Right. And to be honest with you, and this is just my take on the industry. I think, unfortunately, with the push towards a more multiplayer-only atmosphere where your single player is strictly your tutorial, and what AAA titles really want to do is they give you the core mechanic and then they give you a couple maps where voice acting really isn't that important. Then you have all these humongous names.
Which makes me think of something else I'll get back to.
Okay.
But, here's my original question before Craig raised a good point. Was, there's always two sides to one coin.
Right.
On one hand, what basically the publishers are saying, and back to the guild, is, well, your voice actors only represent about, the union voice actors, only represent about 20% of all voice actors in published games. What's stopping, because it's happened before in America, what's stopping the publishers from telling the union, take a hike, we'll just find new voice actors? And I know that's a chance you take as a union.
Absolutely.
Is you have to be able to basically, form that picket line. But the problem in this case, though, is you have 80% of voice actors who are not unionized. So from a pure political standpoint, when you had the auto workers union back in the day, or any of those unions, it was a real thing when you crossed that damn picket line. Where in this case, with only 20%, of the union voice actors being part of the union, that's 20%. I wonder if the publishers might just say, sucks to be you, we'll just find the other 80%. I mean, I don't know. I'm just...
Well, I think that voice acting is at large not very regulated. I mean, there's a lot of freelancers, and there's a lot... To be honest with you, there are so many people who, once they play a video game, like, oh my god, I could do this, I want to do this, I want to do that, and they're starving artists. So if a big company goes, well, F the union guys, okay, starving artist, I've watched your YouTube channel, you sound like you have a pretty good voice. Let's see what you got.
Maybe that's what I do in my free time.
YouTube?
No, do like voice acting on YouTube.
Do it. Just dub over, just cut out the audio track and then dub over and make your own thing for certain scenes.
And I'll use my cat as my face.
Exactly.
I like it. It's like using blabber eyes.
All right. Anyways, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Okay, so the point I thought of. Okay, so I don't know why I thought of this actually. Okay, one of the things I'm just totally this has nothing to do with what we actually said we're going to talk about. But one of the things I hate in a lot of it's about the multiplayer aspect in first-person shooters. Okay, one of the things I really hate that's become a big thing on like your PvP type of games, and most of us talked about, is basically the pay-to-win aspect. And one of the things that drives me even more nuts is in a lot of these PvP-oriented like fighter games, is you can basically buy protection. So for using in-game currency, you basically like, you can't attack me, I'm protected.
Keep talking.
And I've always kind of found that more of a mobile game issue because it's easy to monetize this. But the other game that's recently decided to take this is a AAA title known as Metal Gear Solid 5. So basically, Metal Gear Solid 5, you're building bases where you then have troops and you have to level up and all this stuff. But in this, it's like a whole like big, like your iOS fighting games. It's a big open world with multiple bases where you can tackle the bases during the game. Same thing with Metal Gear Solid 5, where other people can attack your base and basically deplete your base and resources. Well, part of what they've done, the producers Konami, is they make it where you can buy the in-game currency to then protect your base. So just like your mobile games, you can now protect your mobile base, in Metal Gear Solid 5. So something
Are you sure it's Metal Gear Solid 5, not Metal Gear Solid Online?
You're right. It's Metal Gear Solid Online. You're absolutely right.
I'm like, Metal Gear Solid 5 is a stealth single player.
You're right. It's online. You're absolutely right. But the same premise still applies. It's still Metal Gear Solid. But it's the idea of something that kind of in the online games, it's kind of like, I can ignore that because it's just a crappy online game. But now it's come to a AAA title, like a Metal Gear Solid Online.
Right.
And the idea of basically, that's the true definition of paying to win at that point. Because, you can't touch me because I've bought protection. It's just kind of further idea. I just hate it.
Is there, okay, so I don't know if you know this or not, but is there a way to like do stuff in game to gain a special the special currency to then do the protection?
I do not know the answer. I don't know the answer.
Because I spent a shit ton of money for Marvel Puzzle Quest.
Yes.
There is you get the regular ISO crystals that's basically your like leveling up currency, all that stuff, and then you get the character coins, and those character coins could then buy these gem shields that allow you to be protected for like 3 hours or 5 hours.
But it's kind of like also whatever the single player component of this Metal Gear Solid is. You also have to partake in some form or fashion in the online portion to fully level up your single player portion, which I'm sure you're not a fan of either. Which to me, Mass Effect 3 did the same thing.
I hate that. Because
I was able to fully complete Mass Effect 3, but life went on. But in order to fully complete the whole Warzone thing up to 100%, you had to partake in the multiplayer. And to me, that's just batshit insane.
I understand that in a way it's forceful, but at the same time they want you to at least check out.
I understand why they're doing it. It doesn't mean I don't like it.
Right, exactly. Look, it's the same reason why I don't do MMOs for too long. Is because for lack of a better term, I'm a lone wolf. I do not like to party with strangers. So like games like Defiance, where I could solo the whole damn thing and then jump into instances or special events and then jump out, I'm totally cool with. Woo! But if you make me 2 or 3 hours in, I have to start grabbing random people, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play. I'm sorry.
I heard.
All right. Let's get on to the next topic.
There's more topics?
There's one more topic.
How many topics can we have?
Oh my God! Someone stop it! The craziness.
My brain hurts.
All right. Insider fantasy betting. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is not crossed over to eSports. At least that's not what. No one's saying anything right now. But basically, FanDuel and DraftKings. It has come out that individuals at FanDuel, of course, in their contract, they're not allowed to play or partake in FanDuel.
Yes.
But there's nothing that says that they can't utilize their information and knowledge to then play over DraftKings.
Oh, my.
So there has been a conspiracy that's basically stated that individuals at DraftKings are using their insider knowledge of like statistics and analytics to then play over at FanDuel to rack in the money, and then vice versa.
There's a little bit of backup. Basically, somebody went to the other competitor and basically came in second place in some big tournament and won like $350,000. And the state attorney general, I don't remember what state, was basically like, WTF, man, something here is not right. And so whatever state that's from has basically launched an inquiry into the whole like online betting for FanDuel and Alpha Draft to make sure that there's nothing hinky going on, basically, with this potential insider trading. So it's really this, not the DOJ, but the Attorney General coming out and be like, this is something here that's going on, we're doing an investigation. That's what's really prompted both websites to come out and be like, we should probably take a look at this and make sure nothing on the down low is going on.
Right. Yes. Craig says, what are these FanDuel and DraftKings things? I haven't seen or heard any advertisement for them. Oh, wait! They're effing everywhere! Of course,
the other big...
Oh, God, yes, they are. Oh,
one of the big issues back, like when PokerStars, for instance, was a big issue that people always bitched about is when you're playing at a table for real money, how many of those players are computer bots that were owned by poker stars? And FanDuel and Alpha Draft are no different. How many of those people that you're competing against are basically owned by the parent company, so that money is actually going back to them and not out to real people? And that's a legitimate issue.
Absolutely.
And
I think in the contract though that they've stated, at least for Alpha Draft, that they've stated that no company involvement can occur, but they have the ability of pulling the competition, the tournament, the playoff, whatever, even if you jump in. What's up, Clash of the Pro?
Bro! I know we were missing somebody.
I know, seriously.
Jeez. So and that's always been a word with me with world of online betting, is how legitimate is it? And, what kind of other stuff might be going on behind the scenes?
Craig's got a great word here. Craig's friend Mike coined the word scambling.
Yeah, that is actually good.
Absolutely.
Very good.
It's very, that basically, yeah.
My favorite thing I've always seen is when you go to casinos, because they're a huge thing when I lived up north, is one of the big deals. If you win the jackpot for something, okay, so you get your stuff that's on the screen, right?
Yep.
But what you see on the screen is not necessarily what's actually happening in the background on the actual core components, on the actual processor. So it's very possible, and it happens, where what you see on the screen, oh my gosh, I got 5 free bars in a row, which is like the mega jackpot. Behind the scenes, like, oh, nope, sorry, that's not what happened. It was just a GUI glitch. So you lose all your jackpot. But guess how often the reverse happens? Where behind the scenes, you get the 5 3 bars, but the GUI says nothing. Yep, that never happens, of course.
Of course not.
So when you go gamble, especially with all the electronic devices nowadays, that's why I like real, live, in-person poker.
I for those of you out there, I've been to a casino, and my game of choice is Caribbean Stud, and I actually I apparently got tagged because there was a security guard that started watching our game because I made a interesting comment at the table. So
way to go.
I don't count cards; I just see patterns.
Well, there you go.
Anyways, at some point I knew this was going to happen. To be honest with you, I'm kind of shocked that it's taken this long. But then again, FanDuel and DraftKings, when they started doing their $1 million jackpots last season, that's when it, in my opinion, really, really took off. Thank you, Jesus. My fucking wide receiver finally scored a goddamn touchdown. Sorry, fantasy football. Casinos are money vacuums. Absolutely. Well, that's why there's no windows in there.
There's always the joke when you go to a casino. I'm speaking mostly my Minnesota experience. You go there and the populace. So the median age in a casino is probably above 70. I would venture to guess. Because basically it's what people go to do when they're bored and they're retired and they're spending their Social Security check. I mean, you go in there, you have no windows, you have no clocks, and free drinks. I mean, their intent is to give you there. You go there, you got the $5.99 lunch buffet, and you're absolutely right. They are money vacuums. And I've gone because my family on my dad's side, they love the casinos. So
let's be honest. The thing is, at any betting, you're going to have waves. And what they're hoping for, because you have lose track of time, you'll have food in there, you'll have drinks in there, that you'll basically give everything that you started with back.
Yes.
And that happens a lot.
Yep. The trick is, if you win big, you leave big. You don't win big and then spend your $200 jackpot in casinos again. But that's what they hope you do.
200 jackpot.
Well, I mean, that's somewhat of a jackpot. It depends. You got to remember that.
I walked out with $476.
I mean, you got to remember, when you play a casino game, you can bid anywhere from 10 cents a roll to as much as you want.
Do we live near Vegas? No.
No.
He used to live in Minnesota.
So Minnesota has a lot of Indian reservations that have casinos on them. So I lived pretty close to a casino when I lived in Minnesota. I never went on my own because it was just, I didn't find it that exciting. But my family liked to go, and I was like, yeehaw, the casino. I'm so excited.
So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we have gotten to the part of the show where we are more than happy
But I would play 2-4 Texas Hold'em.
Oh, there you go.
Well, because I like Texas Hold'em though, because Texas Hold'em is purely a game of your own ability against real human opponents. So at least if I'm losing $100 in casino money, I feel like I lost it to like a video machine. Whereas if I lost for nothing through actual experience or expertise on my own part. Whereas if I lose $100 playing poker, that's my own fault. I have nobody to blame but myself. It's a little bit different. So I don't mind losing money in poker. I don't want to, obviously. I want to win money. I want to take all your damn money in poker. But I can deal with losing money in poker. Losing money in slots is just not fun to me. So that's how I feel. I'm Minnesota, which was considered to be Canadian by a lot of people.
Have I played the Star Wars beta?
Yeah, there's Star Wars Battlefront or something I saw was in beta. Like, didn't that just come out in open beta like today?
I think so. And a lot of people have said that that it's like the PlayStation 2 game, and that's not a bad thing. What they're saying is the most solid one that's come out for Star Wars Battlefront came out for the PlayStation 2. So it is solid. That's what I've heard.
Okay, I don't know much about that. I just saw the headline. So what kind of game is Star Wars Battlefront?
Damn it.
Okay, what type of game was the one on PlayStation 2?
Yeah, it's out today.
Yeah. Like, what kind of game is it? Is it like RPG?
No, I think it's third-person shooter strategy.
Sure.
Real time?
Well, I wasn't thinking it's like Code or anything.
Oh, that kid is streaming it on Twitch right now.
You're streaming on Twitch while watching Twitch. Man, that is hardcore.
That's like
my brain just exploded.
Inside dimensional craziness.
You've just broken the fifth.
Boom! It's better.
Whoa!
Money freak.
Askyard! What? Woo!
Damage Control half-hour comedy series for the Marvel Universe, focusing on the poor bastards who have to clean up after the supers destroy city blocks. This is a thing that might happen. Actually, isn't that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Isn't that what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does?
It's not a comedy.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying that they're...
Okay, not really. Okay, so...
They had one episode where they were cleaning up after...
Yes.
After
so
Thor
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. obviously follows the Marvel Universe, but only every once in a while does it actually intersect with the Uber, like the A-list of the Marvel Universe. Spoiler alert, you don't see Thor on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as if anybody actually thought otherwise.
But you do see Director Fury.
Oh, that actually is a spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
He's
alive! Holy shit!
No way! It is a fun show. I actually do enjoy Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's a fun
I've
show.
not watched this season, though. So
I have watched through season 2 because it's on Netflix.
Oh, well, there you go. I need to catch up on Grimm. Is that on? Here's a topic. Where do you think consoles will be in around 10 years? They'll be dead. There's no such thing as console.
Well, okay. But let's rephrase that in a Charlie-esque way.
There are media...
Will Microsoft and or Sony still have a centric device that plays games in your living room attached to a TV?
Microsoft, yes. Sony, probably.
I think
Nintendo, no, I don't know.
You don't think?
I don't know. See, here's the
we
thing.
need to ban Body Freak.
It's a Yoshi.
I see a dick.
Right. Anyways, damn it. Okay. Nintendo next console is going to make or break them. I'm just going to be honest. And it's going to they're going to have to make that huge leap that they did with the Wii. It's probably going to have to be VR. I don't know how, but they're going to have to do VR. And to be honest with you, I think that all the consoles are going to have to make that jump, but they've got to make it solid. And
they're all trying. They are all trying.
Right, but we're entering the thing of, look, in order to make a VR, in my opinion, in order to make a VR headset work, it has got to be more robust. That's nice.
Like I said, we need to ban Bunny Freak.
There's excuse me.
So Charlie thinks that with a VR, that you need a central SDK.
We're right. You need a centralized SDK where you have where it does more than just the games. I mean, that's really what's going to have to boil down to. You need to have something that the problem is, and it's going to be this across the board. As long as it's an optional peripheral, it's not going to catch on.
I don't think that's going to happen, though. I don't think what you're dreaming of like utopia.
I'm not dreaming about utopia. Happen. You're going to need something that you're going to need in order for a VR helmet to succeed. Fortunately or unfortunately, at this point in time, it's going to require you to be in the main mass market. And in order to do that, it's got to be more than just about the games.
But the developers aren't going to. The actual hardware manufacturers aren't going to do that.
You have to.
But they've never done that before. Why are they going to start now? You can't take a Sony PlayStation game and play it on the Xbox. That's basically what you want to do. That's the equivalent of what you're proposing doing with the virtual reality hardware, and that's not going to happen.
You have to. In order.
Why do you have to?
Look, with the Microsoft and Sony console, they're marketing them not as consoles but as media-centric devices.
But
that's how they're getting them in the house.
They're not going to do a VR helmet on the Xbox that works on the Sony PlayStation.
No.
That's exactly what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that it would be in a utopian society if you had a standard SDK, which will not have it because of the different architectures of different systems. What I'm saying is that if you want to go the PC route, then you have to make it succeed, you have to have a standard SDK.
I don't think that's
But on top of that, what you will need to do is that VR helmet must do more than just enhance games because it won't sell. It will fail. You're going to need to have the ability, and I know that a lot of people do not like this, but Facebook 2.0, whenever that comes out, and it utilizes the Oculus to basically give you a virtual reality type of plus the ability to play games, plus the ability to do whatever. That's what it's going to take.
But the problem is the VR developers or manufacturers have already shown that they're going the complete opposite route. Look at, Google Glass is not a true VR device, but yet it must be attached to a Google device.
Look at HoloLenses.
But look at the Samsung. The Samsung VR device must be attached to a Samsung device.
Right, which is going to fail.
But I'm just saying that even though you think it's going to fail, this is the direction that the VR manufacturers are already thinking of having it attached to their own proprietary magical world.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I think that's what's going to be their downfall. I think that you have to have a device. Exclusives are a thing of the past.
Look at this, though. This is its own proprietary device, the iPhone.
Right.
And look how successful this freaking thing has been. People thought it would fail for the same exact reason you're saying, and now it's become the leader in phones, for better or for worse.
It's a multi-purpose device. It's not just a phone. It's not just a gaming device. It's not just a video viewing device. It's not just a music listening device. If you were to make a VR helmet just for gaming, just for a specific platform, it's not going to succeed.
We shall see. I don't know. I don't think manufacturers see it your way, unfortunately.
Well, of course, they want to be the big dog, so they want to show that their device can actually stand on its own platform.
Yes, of course.
But to be honest with you, it's not going to work
unless you have one or two that rise to the crop, like basically the iPhone and the Android. It's the same exact thing where they're the ones that rose to the top of Microsoft Mobile and God rest ye merry soul, BlackBerry. They all went down the shitter. And I think you'll see the same thing with the VR. We're going to have 2 or 3 that rise to the cream of the top, but they're also not going to be sharing their technology or SDK with the other companies.
Well, here's the beautiful thing. Microsoft has the same architecture for their Xbox as Windows 10.
Okay.
So now you have a cross-platform device that you can use on your console and on your PC. They've already they've already set up the bridging of the gap. Alex Gold's 96. Hey guys, question for you. What's your favorite game out right now and why?
Right now, that's a great question.
That's a really good question. And thank you for allowing me to catch my breath. That's a really good question. I would have to say that a lot of my time is being spent.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay, so as a background, if you don't know who we are, Mr. Alex Gold or Mrs. Alex Gold, is we play mostly
independently developed
type of games. Like, you're not going to be catching us probably reviewing the latest Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed, because that's just I buy bargain bin games. and Charlie buys, or doesn't actually buy, he plays independently developed games. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of, so if you're looking for like, should I play the last, should I go play Metal Gear Solid Online? You probably are not the right people to answer that question. The game I have been playing, though, which recently came out, is Concrete Jungle. Mm-hmm. I'll try briefly. It's an extremely hard game to describe without actually seeing gameplay. I know Charlie's going to bitch at me because I haven't even actually recorded any gameplay. But basically, it's a deck-building game where you then have tiles, and you build your cards to then come down each of your 5 tiles. But your tiles kind of have to match up to build a city. That's the game in a crux. So it's deck building plus city building. It's got a puzzle aspect to it because you got to do it right. There's also head-to-head competition. It has a lot of stuff going on. It's a game you kind of have to actually see to really know what's going on. It's an indie game. It's on Steam. I think it's $15 or so right about now, but it's a good game.
So the 2 games that I've been playing recently, one is called Pixel Galaxy, which is a very interesting game. So you start off with a single pixel, and of course it's magnified. It's not like this little dot on the screen. And what you do is you're going to move it around with your left analog stick, and what you're going to do is you're going to try to collect other pixels to basically grow your I guess, ship. And certain pixels allow for protection, certain pixels are for attack. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to basically protect that single pixel that you start off with and try to utilize the defense and your attack to get through the level. And of course, you have to dodge a crazy amount of bullets. The other game that I've been playing is a game called basically it's a choose your own adventure game. I highly recommend it. It's written by an amazing author by the name of Eddie Webb, and that is Ratings War. It's for the iOS and Android. Why do I know
the name Eddie Webb?
You talked to him. He was the guy who was running Pugmire at Andocon.
That's why.
Yes.
Does he have kind of like the longer curly hair?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Alice Gold, another question. Have you guys ever played RuneScape? Nope. I used to love that game. Just wondering if you've ever gave it a shot. I have not, but I heard that...
Has RuneScape undergone like multiple iterations from my understanding?
I heard that there was like an iteration that was awesome, and then they lost it, and I think they've been trying to get it back. So I haven't personally played RuneScape. I do know that that there is definitely a hardcore like fan base that continues to play RuneScape even through every single iteration. I
played World of Warcraft for my multiplayer experience when RuneScape was becoming a thing. So it's kind of like I like to play multiple multiplayer games at once. Mm-hmm. So that was my poison when RuneScape was a thing. So no, never played RuneScape. That's my answer to that one.
I do want to say something real quick because I was actually asked this question earlier before the broadcast, so I'm just going to bring it up now. Ultra Confusion, where are you going to be in 2016 when it comes to conventions? The answer is we're going to be at Canuga, we're going to be at Andocon, we're going to be at MomoCon, and now we are going to be at Con Carolinas.
What?
Yep.
It's crazy talk, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Canuga. It's going to be me and Zealeus. Andocon is probably going to be just me and Zealeus. MomoCon is probably going to be me, Zealeus, and Jesse.
I may be able to get a third person for not MomoCon, for
Andocon. Awesome.
She knows nothing about video games, but she would still have fun.
Awesome. And then Con Carolina is going to be myself and Jesse.
The long lost brotherhood.
I know.
Jesse's a great man. I like it. We need Jesse.
For those of you out there who are wondering why we're adding Con Carolinas, because it's going to be our first time doing it, it's going to be our replacement convention for the convention that closed down this past year, and then, of course, is MonsterCon. So,
and if it had not closed down, I'm pretty sure Charlie would not be going back.
No.
Charlie's like, F that.
No, yeah. Just moved to Florida from Connecticut. Any con? Okay, so there are definitely a lot of conventions in Florida. There's quite a few in and around the Orlando area.
Did you go anywhere when you lived there?
Mm-mm. No, I didn't really. To be honest with you, when I lived in Orlando for 2 years, I didn't really get out at all because I was in class basically 24 hours out of the day.
And then you just drank otherwise.
Or I just went to Pretzels, which
Pretzels! That was the name of the place.
It's closed now.
What?
Yeah, Pretzels closed.
That's because you left. You went out of business.
I know. Oh, it's their constant money stream. But there's definitely
playing darts.
I'm gonna. There's quite a few conventions in Florida. There's one in Gainesville, which I do not recommend.
Because it's in Gainesville.
Well, one, it's in Gainesville, and two, apparently it was just absolute crap. But
how far is South Carolina, though, from... Well, it depends where in Florida, to be fair. Florida's a pretty big state.
Right. Well, I mean, the funny thing is, so I lived in Orlando, and I could get to Rock Hill, South Carolina, which a lot of people don't know where Rock Hill is. It's basically 25 minutes south of Charlotte.
Yep.
I could basically get there the exact same amount of time that it would take me to go from Orlando to Atlanta.
South Carolina isn't that far from Florida. So
if you take 95.
So what's the one in South Carolina that Ultimate Fusion is going to that you mentioned?
We're not going to one in South Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah, it's Con Carolinas.
Different Carolina.
Cape Coral, Southwest Florida, right by Fort Myers.
Oh.
I think there's one. I think there's a couple down there too. There's always going to be a couple small like Comic-Con type, like comic general fandom conventions. You just have to do some research. Unfortunately, that's a little bit out of our area. We try to keep because we're going to be driving to every single convention we go to unless we're invited to a convention. So I think we've got like a 4.5, 5 hour circle.
Yeah.
Though we've never really reached that circle. Con Carolina's going to be the furthest one out.
So you want to throw up our information?
Yes. Let's go ahead and throw up our Ultra Confusion information because we are near the end of our show. Just for anyone out there that wants to get in contact with us.
We have our website at www.ultraconfusion.com. Facebook at Altered Space Confusion. Probably no space in there, though.
No,
Twitter.
it is space. You just search Altered Confusion.
Basically, search any of these on any of these websites. It'll work. Yep. Twitter at Ultra Confusion. Oh, there's no N because why is there no N, Charlie?
Because there's too much awesomeness with the N.
YouTube at Ultra Confusion LLC. You're probably better off just searching Ultra Confusion. And Twitch TV. That's where you are now, so hopefully you can find it again in the future if you need to. But in case you're curious, is twitch.tv.com/Ultra Confusion. I know that's hard to forget because we said Ultra Confusion 8 times in the last 30 seconds.
Yes.
Basically, go to our website, www.ultraconfusion.com, and on the website you'll find links and other ways to access us through the Contact Us link on the webpage, and also you'll find our links to the Facebook, the Twitter, the YouTube, and the Twitch, so you can always be in contact with us and stalk us 24/7.
We have not done a YouTube stream yet. We're trying to work out the kinks.
We tried to do a YouTube stream through our streamer, and it didn't quite work as planned.
Okay.
So I'm going to work with it some this weekend to see if I can make a stream on Google Gaming or YouTube Gaming, wherever we're calling it, actually work. So we will check on that to make it work.
Real quick, a game that we are really excited about, Mergers and Acquisitions, which is coming out in the very, very near future. Well, it's going to start being kickstarted. I think I've seen you guys in a bad porno. Well, thank you. No. Hold on.
Man, you were very protective, whatever this is.
It looks illustrations for Mergers and Acquisitions are now available on the blog page for nerdburgergames.com. Of course, check out the Nerdburger podcast. I think that's nerdburgershow.com. Now, I do want to show you this. This was recommended by Mr. Craig Campbell himself. I'm pretty sure it was. So,
Chaos Moss.
Check it out, man. It's going to be a cool game.
As the universe ends, the hunt begins.
Booyah!
Sounds like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
So anyways, let me do a couple quick shout-outs. Of course, if you want to find out information about AndoCon, which is one of the conventions we're going to be at, it's andocon.org. MomoCon is momocon.org. Of course, nerdburgergames.com and nerdburgershow.com. One thing. You saw our little info thing that we just popped up here. If you are watching on Twitch, the information is for all of that stuff is actually on our Twitch page because I made it all party. So anyways, There's that.
Hot.
Yes. Check it out. Anyways, okay, so I think we've unfortunately reached the end of our show. So, Zealeus, let's say our goodbyes, and you can keep reading the box, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I do want to, once again, thank everyone out there who has tuned in. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our third and final winner for the Ultra Confusion contest. We'll be contacting you probably either tomorrow or in the very, very near future. But if you, lovely audience members, either watching this live or the recorded version, want to help out or join the Ultra Confusion team, hit us up on any of those different sites, and let's see if you can help us in some time. Yes, Whacked Kid 47. Bye-bye! Once again, thank you for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure to give you the crazy stuff coming out of our minds, and, of course, some of the rants and ramblings that we're capable of. Once again, we will see you next Thursday, because we do this every single Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
7 o'clock Central Time.
And tell your friends. And don't forget to tune in to every single episode, because every single episode is quite unique. So once again, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you later.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.